What do you do when you feel that you're untrue? I know this is not love or else for me.
Hello, today Ánxela, Aroa, and I, Marta, are here to talk with Bea Bautista, a wonderful English language assistant from the Philippines. Bea loves teaching and languages, and she has traveled far to share her knowledge with us. Her dedication and enthusiasm make our classrooms better and gives us a chance to learn about the culture of the Philippines. Join us in this interview to learn more about her journey, experiences, and what inspires her to be an ambassador of the English language in our country. Hello, Bea.
Hello, Marta.
We are now going to ask you some questions about your country, your life, and your experience in Galicia. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Were you born in the capital of your country?
Yes, I was born in the capital of my country, Philippines, in Manila, but I am from Cainta. It's another city near Manila.
That sounds good. What are the popular foods in your country?
We have a lot of popular foods, and one of them is called adobo. It's usually pork, chicken, or beef simmered in soy sauce, vinegar with lots of garlic and peppercorns and laurel leaves. Another one is a dish called lumpia. It's our version of a spring roll. And one of my favorite dishes is called ginataan, and it could take any forms. It could be vegetables, seafood, meat. But my favorite is ginataang hipon, which is shrimp with coconut milk.
I have to say I don't know any of them, but I would like to try some. What is the weather like? Is the weather very different in different parts of the country? Can you describe the seasons? What is the best time to visit?
The weather in the Philippines is more or less the same throughout the country. We're a small country, but we have many different islands. I would say it's quite similar to the weather here in Galicia because it's rainy and sunny, and sometimes the weather can be unpredictable. The only difference is in the Philippines it's warmer. So it's like Galicia, but warmer. We have 2 seasons. Unlike here, we have 4. In the Philippines, we only have 2. What we call the dry or the summer season and the wet or the rainy season. We don't get snow. We don't have autumn. And more or less, the average temperature is around 27 degrees Celsius. And I think the best time to visit the country, it depends on when or what you want to do or the things that you love to do. For example, if you like going to the beaches, you like surfing, you like summer and the sun, swimming, I would suggest for you to go during the peak of summer, which is around April to June. And if you like Christmas season, we have the longest Christmas season in the whole world. We start our Christmas season on the 1st of September up until January. So if you want to have a long Christmas season or Christmas feeling, you can go to the Philippines. We have lots of Christmas lights, just like in Vigo, but the difference is the whole country is like Vigo.
Oh, that sounds cool. What can you tell me about the history of your country? Did your country gain independence from another country?
Yes, we were colonized by 3 countries, Spain, the United States, and Japan. The Spanish occupation period lasted for 333 years, and it ended when the Treaty of Paris was signed after the mock battle in Manila. We were basically sold to the United States for $20 million, and we stayed under American occupation for 48 years. And then in the World War II, we were occupied by Japan for over 3 years.
What are the most popular tourist destinations in your country? What makes them popular?
Top of my head is Banaue Rice Terraces. I haven't been there. It's in Banaue, Fugao, up north our country. It's popular because these are mountains that are carved by hand by our ancestors so they could plant rice on the terraces. I would liken it to Ribera Sacra here, but instead of grapes, we plant rice. And this was featured in one of the Avengers films, Infinity War, when Thanos snapped his finger and wiped half of the universe. He hid in Banawe rice terraces. The second one that is popular is Mayon Volcano. Philippines, its geographical location, it's located in the Pacific Ring of Fire. So we have lots of active volcanoes, and one of them is Mayon Volcano. And it's popular because its shape is almost perfectly symmetrical. It's like a version of Mount Fuji in Japan.
Oh, I know that one. What was your childhood like?
My childhood, I would say, is quite different from other people that I know because I'm a third culture kid. I'm from the Philippines, but I grew up in Saudi Arabia because that's where my father worked. And when I was young, I wasn't allowed to go out just by myself if I want to play or if I want to go to the mall or go buy something. I'm not allowed to go out because it's not super safe for me to be alone outside as a girl. And for that reason, I didn't have much experience playing outside, and it was usually just my brother and I playing. And on top of that, I studied in an all-girls high school, and I had to wear an abaya. It's a long black dress that covers the whole body with long sleeves, and I had to cover my hair sometimes when I had to go out. But at the time, it didn't feel different for me because it's what I grew up with. It was my norm. So for me, it was all right. I had a great childhood. I still love my memories from Saudi Arabia. It was when I moved to the Philippines that I realized that I had a different childhood than others.
What languages are spoken in your country?
We have 180 plus Philippine languages because we have 7,641 islands, small little islands. And we are all unified by our official language, which is Filipino. And on top of Filipino, English is widely spoken in our country. And I would say our level of English is more or less the same as our native language.
Yeah, that's a lot. Are there many famous artists and authors based in your country?
Yes. One is Lea Salonga. She's internationally known. She won a Tony Award for her role in Miss Saigon. She's very known as an actress, as a singer, and she was also the singing voice of Jasmine and Mulan from the Disney films. She also was in famous plays like Les Miserables, The Demon Barber of Fleet Street, Sweeney Todd, and more. And in literature, I would like to mention Bea Bautista. She has the same surname as me, but we're not related. I like her book or her novel called Década 70. It's similar to Spanish, but we spell it differently. And it's about a middle-class family living through martial law or the period when we had dictatorship.
Thank you so much, Bea.
Thank you too.
Now, Ánxela is going to ask you some questions about our country.
Hi, Bea. Did you choose Galicia to work as a language assistant?
Actually, we were given the chance to choose 3 regions, and from the 3 regions, we'll rank them according to our preference. And honestly, my first choice was Madrid, because it's the capital of the country, and I've been a city girl all my life, and I figured it would be easier for me to live in a city. And so that's what I put as my first option. My second option was Galicia. When I was looking at the choices, I was looking at pictures, some articles, and watching some vlogs. And there was this one vlog on YouTube, and she's a girl who lives in Vigo. And in her video, she said that on random weekends, she'd go to Portugal to have coffee or drinks with her friends. And that concept of going to another country for a random weekend was really cool to me. So I chose Galicia as a second, and I thought to myself, oh, I can go to Portugal on a Thursday or on a Friday. And a lot of auxiliaries choose Madrid as their first option because it's the capital, and that's one of the most popular places in Spain outside of Spain, from outsiders to us outsiders. And I didn't get a placement in Madrid, and I've never been so grateful that I didn't get a place in Madrid because I love it here in Galicia. My friends and I who are here, we usually say we like Spain, but we love Galicia.
Definitely, Galicia was the best choice. So, when you first came to Galicia, what was the first thing that came to your mind? And did you know anything about Galicia?
When I first came here, it was raining. When I stepped out of Coruña Airport, it was cold and rainy, and it lived up to my expectations. Because before coming here, I was told that it rains a lot in that region. And I was like, oh, there we go. And I had been exposed to the Spanish culture prior to coming here because my sister worked for a Spanish company based in the Philippines. So I've been tasting wines from the Rías Baixas, and the chorizo, pulpo. I've tried them before coming here. So I had more or less a good idea about what to expect coming here. And I heard about the beaches and the seafood of Galicia, and those two are things that I love the most. So I was really excited to come here and immerse myself in the culture.
Sounds good. Can you tell us about your experience as an English assistant in Spain?
Well, my first year as an English language assistant, it was a learning curve for me because I didn't know the language prior to coming here. I had almost zero knowledge of Spanish, so it was a little intimidating for me, especially when I first arrived in Madrid and I missed my plane to Coruña. And for me, it was a little bit difficult to connect with my students and to go around places, buying groceries, doing daily things. But in time, with my interactions with everyone, with my everyday interactions with them, I learned more Spanish as time went on. And it has been a rewarding and enriching experience being a language assistant here. I didn't only grow in terms of my career, but also as a person. I felt like I learned a lot about myself, and I've matured more when I started living here. And yeah, it was a really pleasant experience.
What motivated you to become a language assistant?
I was contacted by my professor in my university about this program during the pandemic, or it was the time when restrictions were slowly being lifted. And I thought it was a perfect timing for me to explore and travel. And I thought it would be a chance for me to leave the nest because I was already 27 at the time, and I said, okay, maybe I should try to live independently. And so I did. I sent in my application, and thankfully I got into the program. And I've always wanted to travel around Europe. And I thought, what better way to start than here in Spain?
Interesting. Could you share a memorable experience or interaction you've had with your students or colleagues in Spain?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, my first year was a bit of a learning curve, and that's one of the biggest challenges that I face is the first year here, the language barrier. And we always say that we're our own toughest critics. And to me, I didn't know if I am doing a good job in helping teach English to the students, because sometimes I don't understand them or sometimes they don't understand me. And so that was a bit of a, I guess like a, sorry, I forgot the word, like an insecurity. And towards the end of the year, I got to get to know my students more. I got to know what they liked and disliked. And on my last day at the high school, last school year, my students came to me and gave me thank you cards and letters, and that really warmed my heart, and it made me want to do a better job for the next school year. And with my colleagues, one memory that I won't forget is our school year ender dinner, lunch or dinner. We went to Ponte de Ume with all the teachers and the staff, and I brought a ukulele with me. It was a ukulele that was lent to me by my coordinator, Amelia, and she lent it to me because we were performing for Christmas that year. And I was returning it to her because it was hers, and she told me, no, it's yours to keep already, and she gave me the ukulele. And then at the end of the dinner, I was given a Galician-made tambourine. And to me, those two things are very special to me, because when I moved here to Spain, I wasn't able to bring any music thing with me. And music is a big part of my identity. So it was heartbreaking for me to leave everything behind. And with those two instruments that were given to me, it felt like I'm a little bit closer to home, or it kind of brought back my sense of self. And it helped me a lot during the summer because I had something to do, and it kept me busy and occupied and lessened the homesickness.
That's cool. What advice would you give to other language assistants who are considering working abroad?
First thing is to keep an open mind, because auxiliaries come from different parts of the world. They're from different parts of culture, and you're coming into another culture. So I would advise them to keep an open mind. And next is to explore and experience as much as they can, because not everyone would get the same opportunity as we do. So use this opportunity to expand your knowledge about different cultures, to broaden your perspectives, and lastly, learn the language. It's advisable that you know a little bit of Spanish prior to coming here, unlike me, because it was really a learning curve. But for me, learning languages would open a lot of doors for you and new worlds. You'll discover more when you know other languages. You'll understand other people. You'll understand how they live their lives. You'll also learn about their culture while you learn the language. So, yeah.
What challenges have you faced during your time as a language assistant, and how have you overcome them?
Well, the first is the language barrier. And so what I did, for this year, I enrolled myself into UI to study Spanish so I could understand my students better. And the second challenge was the homesickness, especially now because it's been 2 years since I've seen my family. I got here to Spain in 2022 and I haven't gone home and visited them since. But what we do is we video call every day. Our family has 2 video calls every day, and I tried to get on as many calls as I could so I could keep in touch with them.
That's great because the Filipino has a lot of words in common with the Spanish, right?
Yes. We have 10,000 Spanish words in Filipino, and it's still not enough for us to converse fluently in Spanish. And sometimes these words, I don't know that they're from Spanish language. When I got here, I would just realize, oh, that's what we call that item too. When I went shopping, I saw pantalones. And in the Philippines, we call them pantalon. And I was like, oh, that's where it's from. And just last week, I realized that the term we use for face towels is from Spanish as well. We call them lavacara. And now that I'm learning Spanish, I know the verbs and some parts of the body. And I put 2 and 2 together. Lava means to wash, and cara means face. And we use the face towel to wash our face. That's why we call it lavacara in the Philippines.
Can you describe a typical day in your role as a language assistant?
Typical day, I would wake up very early in the morning because I live in Ferrol. And it takes a 45-minute bus ride to get to Mugados. And after that, I get to school. I have classes from 8:45 to 2:25. And in my classes, I help teach English with presentations, activities, games, and conversation practice like we do in the classes. And after that, I go home to take a 30-minute break, and then I go to my Spanish classes. And after Spanish classes, I go home, have dinner, and I prepare my lessons for the following days before I go to bed.
What are your plans or aspirations for the future, both professionally and personally?
Professionally, in the next few years, I would like to pursue postgraduate studies or masters, specifically in sound engineering, because I'm still hoping to get back into the audio industry after some years, and maybe also teach music courses at a university. And to teach at a university, you need a master's degree at least. So that's what I want to work on. Personally, at the top of my list is just to come home and visit my family because I'm very close to them and I really want to be with them. So that's what I'm working on.
That's right.
Yeah.
And now, thank you, Bea. And Aroa is going to ask some questions about your hobbies.
Hi, Bea. Do you have any hobbies?
Yes, I have lots of hobbies. One of them is trying out new recipes and cooking. And next is drawing or painting. And I also love to travel, to go to the beach, and to go swimming. And I love making music. I play lots of different instruments and I write my own songs. And I also like to play with audio.
So, as for music, do you see yourself working as a producer in the future?
Yes, it's one of my options, but if there are other opportunities, I'm open to them as well. I could be a sound engineer, or a composer, or a songwriter, maybe even a performer or a singer. Whatever comes my way, if the opportunity presents itself, I'm gonna take it.
Are you working on a new album?
Right now, no. Well, I'm working on an album, but it's not a new one. It's the album I've been producing since 2020. It's been done for many years. I just haven't published it. And I want to take out one of the songs and replace it with a new one because I want it to be more coherent, to be in theme. So that's what I'm currently working on. I've started writing the lyrics and I have a few melodies in my head. I just have to finish the song, record, and produce.
Sounds good. Have you noticed any cultural difference between the Spanish and Philippines song music?
Well, I haven't been exposed to a lot of Spanish music yet. Most of the Spanish songs that I've heard or have listened to are Spanish party songs. So they're more upbeat and they're about partying, having a good time. Reggaeton.
Yeah.
And in the Philippines, our songs are very poetic and we're heavy on the theme of love. But I think this characteristic of Filipino music is also from Spain. We have a lot of musical influences from Spain. And for example, the harana is like serenading. And then we have kundiman, which is also from Spain. It's also about love, declaring love or longing for love. And we have rondalla, string instruments. So we use a lot of string instruments in our music too. But yeah, I think our music is a mixture of different influences from the three countries that stayed in the Philippines. And now our music is more Americanized, I would say. It's closer to American mainstream music. Now we're experimenting more on K-pop sounds. We have our girl groups and boy groups that are producing better music nowadays. And yeah.
Okay. Have you learned any Galician recipe yet? If so, have you cooked it for your Philippine family and friends?
I'm not sure if they're Galician, but I know they're Spanish recipes. So I've learned to cook rasho, different types of rasho de pollo, de cerdo, and alcabrales. I've also learned how to make cocido, pimientos de padrón, paella de marisco, and torta. I've also tried making tortilla, but it's something that I still need to perfect because I always end up with just scrambled eggs and potato.
And croquetas? Have you tried croquetas?
I've tried them, but I haven't tried making them. I'm a little bit intimidated making the mixture.
We can show you at school
Thank you.
day.
Yes, please.
In case you stay next year with us, would you like to make a music project at our school of any kind?
Of course, I would love to do a music project with the school or any type of project because it's always fun to work with the students and the teachers. And last year I helped out in the music classes and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed hearing the students sing and seeing them write their own songs. And we also I performed with first year SO students during Christmas last school year, and it was really fun too. So yeah, any chance to do a project, musical or not, I'd be down for it.
Thank you for taking the time to share your experiences and knowledge with us. Your dedication and passion are truly inspiring for us, and we do hope you can stay with us one more school year. We have improved our English and we look forward to learning much more from you. Take care and enjoy your summer.
Thank you so much.
I don't wanna be, I don't wanna be. I don't wanna be, I don't wanna be, I don't wanna be. I don't wanna be, I don't wanna be, I don't wanna